Today is MECFS Awareness Day and also ME Action's Millions Missing campaign. I was invited to speak at DC. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there, but I'm going to read you the speech that I wrote that will be read on my behalf. Hello everyone, my name is Grace Miller. I am 21 and I have MECFS. I've had it for almost 2.5 years now, but it feels like I've had it for much longer. ME Action is sending out an SOS this year for our research, rights, and valuable supports that hang in the balance. Vital resources like Medicare and Medicaid are under threat to be taken away. These provide access to medical care for countless people in the chronically ill and disabled community, as well as millions and millions of people in this country. Research is being demolished, not just research for long COVID or MECFS, but also for cancer, women's health, and much more. Finally, our rights. Decisive laws like ADA are being threatened, and many laws and executive orders are being put in place that impede on our community's right to the pursuit of happiness. I want to recognize that these threats are not entirely new to our disabled community. Disabled people are constantly facing discrimination, accessing the supports that do exist is burdensome, and research has been scarce. I think it is important to recognize that many of these threats and impacts are more prevalent and affecting more people beyond our community. This is why I call upon people with ME, people in the chronically ill and disabled community, our caregivers, our allies, bosses, friends, coworkers, researchers, and the general public. This SOS signal is being sent out to all of you because it affects us all. During these times, it can be easy to feel hopeless, burned out, tired, and to feel like you have no power over this situation, or that nothing you say or do could make a difference. Those feelings are reasonable. However, I am here to remind you that your voice does matter and that what we are doing today is very impactful. When you look at the media, you are going to see a lot of content and headlines that make you angry, and that is the goal of the media, to scare people and to make you angry. In addition to this, people in power from all times and from all places have used people's anger to gather support for their various causes, good or bad. The important thing to remember is that people like it when you're angry, but not when you're angry at them. Let's recall the lawsuit that was filed in September of 2024 against Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act. 17 states, including my own, Iowa, claimed that the lawsuit and updating amendment to 504 final rule was unconstitutional. In addition to this, it claimed that the entirety of 504 was unconstitutional. This angered a lot of people, understandably so. For weeks you couldn't scroll through your For You page or watch the news without hearing about a story of someone who relies on 504 and why this made them outraged. People spoke out, they got angry, they shared how important 504 is to them. Then, in February of 2025, it was announced that the lawsuit was put on pause. This test of boundaries was met with an uproar of anger, and the bear was scared back into its cave. My second example comes from within our own community. In February of 2025, the HHS was ordered to shut down the Advisory Committee for Long COVID in order to reduce the size of the government to prevent abuse and overspending. This led to the announcement that a long COVID initiative called Recover, which had been funding vital studies on long COVID since 2020, was going to be canceled. This was the week of March 27th, and on March 28th, it was stated that all these funds were going to be reinstated. The long COVID community was highly noted in this win. Articles mentioned countless advocates who had called their representatives. Likely researchers and other such people played a big role in counteracting this attack. Finally, we are seeing organizations completely unrelated to disability standing up for what is right. Take Harvard, for example. Despite threats of being defunded, they refused to give in to rules allowing the government to have oversight and attack research. Many other higher institutions are following suit, and standing up to attacks like this is not an easy feat. I am not blissfully ignorant about the complexities of this world. I understand that none of these battles won a war, however, I am saying that these battles were won. I share these with you to remind you that there are people standing up for what is right, but most importantly, that your voices do matter. It is harder to fight 1,000 angry people than it is to just fight off one. I want to speak to those beyond our community again. ME Action is just one of the many nonprofits who are leading the way and advocating for research, rights, and supports. These things do not just affect those of us with ME, they also affect you. ME Action is advocating for our community, but they are also advocating for you. It is vital that you speak out whether you have ME or not. If you have ever benefited from research of any kind or any government support, or if you know a loved one or friend or patient who has, you are obligated to speak out or at the very least support those who are. If we do not speak out, there will be no one left to speak out for us. Before I end this speech, I'm going to read a poem by Martin Niemöller called First They Came. First they came for the communists, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me. Please remember that your voices do matter. All you need to do is what you can. That could mean calling your senators or representatives, writing letters to scientific bodies about the importance of research in your area of practice, volunteering at a nonprofit, sharing your story online, or simply supporting people who are doing those things. Doing your part is all that you must do in order to make an impact.